preface this by saying I'm aware that Baptism on Fire is currently on like an indefinite internet hiatus, so the odds of her actually like finding this video are slim, and that's fine. And even if she did stumble upon this video, I would not be mad or upset if she didn't like comment or whatever, because I get it. But I will say this video will be addressed to her, so that might be confusing without that context. I just wanted to clarify. Also, hi, I haven't made a video in like a while. I've been going through a lot of stuff, but it's not the point. Okay, hi Baptism on Fire. I've also just always wanted to make this video for like a long time, and you know, even if this is falling on deaf ears, it's still, I feel like it'll just be nice to kind of get my thoughts out, you know, instead of just constantly being like, oh yeah, what about that video I always wanted to film? I'll do that another day. No, I'm finally getting around to it now. So, hello Baptism on Fire, on the off chance that you do see this. Do you still go by she, her pronouns? The last time I saw you online, I believe you said you went by like any pronouns, but then a lot of other people afterwards said that you went more just by she, her. No clue. Regardless, I always kind of just stick to she, her when referring to you, but I don't know. So I first discovered your content when I was 11 back in sometime in the early 2010s. I found your channel through the Ask Jeff the Killer and I List Jack series. I was a really cringe and annoying creepypasta fan. And it's funny too, because I remember a lot of your videos were kind of like poking fun at like the more cringe side of the creepypasta fan base. And I would always be like, huh, yeah, that's so cringe. Couldn't be me though. Even though like that was literally me. You might as well have been just making a video about me at that time, but like went right over my head. I was just like, yeah, those people are insufferable, am I right, guys? Like, yeah, the call's coming from inside the house. But I remember once or twice you made videos about like taking creepypasta related Quotev quizzes, and I was very active on Quotev. I actually still am. I love making quizzes. I find it fun. But anytime I would make like, what creepypasta character are you, or what creepypasta character is your boyfriend, whenever I got to the question that was like, pick a weapon of choice, I would always add shears as an option, just for you. On the off chance that you discovered my Quotev account. Even though if you did, you probably would have been poking fun at it. I remember at one point when I was like 13, I think I commented on one of your Instagram posts and you liked the comment, and I don't remember if you responded or not, but I remember literally screaming and like running to the living room to show my dad and my stepmom, and they were like, are you dying? And I was like, no, it's Baptism on Fire. And they were like, okay, great. They didn't get it. Around that time in my life as well, without getting too into things, I was going through like a lot of stuff, and watching your videos was always a very good form of like escapism in a way. It was always something that I could put on that kind of distracted me from everything that was going on, and I've always found that very comforting, just having something to kind of escape with a little bit. Furthermore, you kind of shaped some of my music taste. I would not have gotten into the band Gorillaz if it weren't for you, and now they're like one of my biggest special interests ever. This story's gonna be a little sad, but there was a point where I was like 17 and I was about to like, you know, end things, and I was just waiting for everyone to fall asleep so that I could, you know, do it. And I had music playing, and Kansas by Gorillaz came on, and I remember just, it made me so sad, and it really got to me, and for whatever reason I was like, I can't do this. So I owe gorillas my life, and since you're the one who got me into gorillas, in a way, same to you. I forget how long ago that was. I'm 22 now, and I have had my fair share of troubles since then, but like, man, am I glad I didn't pass away when I was 17. If that was the world that I left, and that was like the last memory I had of the world, oh man, that's so sad, because I'm actually just so happy to be alive now, and I think life can be very beautiful and fun, and I'm just glad that I let myself get to this point. There was also a point where I was like 16, I drew a picture of you. I've tried so hard to find a picture of it. I can't find it anywhere, but you're just gonna have to trust me. I posted it on Instagram, and you liked it, and you commented, and you put it on your story, and that was like the coolest thing ever. But also, you were just being nice, because I've seen my art from when I was younger, and it's not that good. So I decided to draw you again, and make it not terrible this time. So I'll put it on screen. I apologize if my drawing is a little inaccurate, like if you don't really look like that anymore. I was working with the references that I had. Not that I'm complaining, because again, I get it, and like I myself have taken multiple breaks from being online due to mental health reasons. And not only that, but I don't remember what caused the hiatus, but I vaguely remember hearing somewhere that it had something to do with psychosis. I don't remember if that came from you or if it was just something that someone said, but regardless, I have experienced alcohol-induced psychosis, and even the psychosis that I experienced, I feel, not to downplay my own problems, but I feel that it was not that bad in terms of just how bad psychosis can get. So like, I don't know, I just want to say, completely understood. I don't want you to mistake this video as me just being like, will you come back? I know you've set a boundary and you went on hiatus for a reason, but like, I want more content, so can you come back? That's not the point of this. Another fun memory I have, one time when I was like 13, when I was in therapy, for whatever reason, the family counselor that I was talking to was like, we're gonna make sock puppets today. And I was like, okay, I'm here because I'm 13 years old and I'm like, every day, so I don't see what that's gonna help, but fine. So I made a sock puppet that was supposed to look like you, and I also can't find that anywhere. You're just gonna have to trust me. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry that so many people were so mean to you online. I have no idea why that would even be, because I don't know, like, okay, you made horror content, but like, I make spooky content sometimes online, and I can't think of a time where I've gotten like genuine hate for it. So I don't know, I don't understand why that even happened. Not that if there was a reason it would make it okay, but I don't know, that was one of the reasons that I felt motivated to make this, was just so that, I don't know, you didn't feel like that was the only audience that you had online. And I'm sure that you already know that. I mean, I don't know you personally. I'm just someone who has been a fan for a while. So I really don't know what your experience was, but I remember seeing some of the hate and just being so surprised by it and appalled. And I don't know, now that I'm actually, like, I've remembered to make this video, I just wanted to say, like, I always loved your content a lot, and I didn't think that you were like weird and bad or whatever the mean people were saying. You were also one of the few like good influences that I had in terms of like childhood favorite YouTubers. I'm not gonna name any names, but some of the childhood YouTubers that I also really liked were people that later turned out to have done really not so great things to children. And for you, I remember in your video about Wattpad, you mentioned like the fact that there were people making fanfiction that was like adult X minor content, and you mentioning like that's disgusting. And like it seems like something so small and so simple, but that was something that legitimately made me like, wait, yeah. And that was one of the things that prevented me from getting victimized as much as I could have. Still did happen, but that's because one positive influence working against many other bad influences. I mean, you know, but still, you put that seed in my head of like, if there's an adult on the internet who's private messaging you as a minor, that's probably not good. Like, I really doubt that they really do just want to be friends. And even if that's all they wanted, that's still weird. I remember also seeing you and Madame Macabre followed each other on Instagram, and I freaked out because I've always been a huge fan of both of y'all. So I was like, oh my god, crossover episode, this is so cool. She's also somebody who I've always really looked up to, especially because, so I grew up with undiagnosed autism, and I grew up very heavily questioning my sexuality. I didn't really have a preference for men or women growing up, like at all. Turns out I'm aromantic and asexual, but I didn't know that at the time. So I was like, well, I don't really feel a strong pull towards either gender. Maybe I'm just bi. And I remember struggling a lot with that as somebody who grew up in Texas. And I remember Madame Macabre making a video talking about how she went to this shop with her friend, and they were just looking around at all the different things and kind of like laughing and just, you know, being friends. But one of the workers thought that they were dating, and for some reason really took offense to that, and they were like, you need to leave. And I remember Madame Macabre making a video about that and just saying like, that was insane, that was one of the worst experiences that I've ever had. And me being like, wait, so it's not normal for us to get treated that way? I don't know. Again, I just wanted to make a video to kind of get thoughts out there, and also just get all this off my chest, even if you never end up seeing it. And also, on the off chance that you do see it, to thank you for getting me into Gorillas and Invader Zim. And I was already into Salad Fingers, but thank you for getting me even more into Salad Fingers, and even more into like Courage the Cowardly Dog and creepy stop motion animation, and even more into horror content in general, especially old classic horror movies. Thank you for introducing me to Popey the Performer. It's a really weird show and I love it a lot. And thank you for making the video about sleep paralysis, because I think that that's one of the biggest things that sparked my huge love for psychology in general. Actually, I was in college to become a polysomnographer, which is like a sleep technician. So like when someone's laying down and they've got all the equipment on them and they go to bed, it's the person who's like, okay, they've got sleep apnea, or like they're experiencing insomnia. Here's what I think the best move would be, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, on the off chance that you do see this at any point, just wanted to say, I think about you. I have the song Teeth on a String by Stick and Poke in my playlists, and every time it comes on, I think about you. And I always just think, man, I hope she's doing well. So, I hope you're doing well. From somebody whose life would have been very different without your videos.